Exciting section up ahead for you, and plenty of things to talk about. So welcome back. I hope morning tea was to your liking. There won't be an evaluation asking your opinion on it, so trust you enjoy it. My name's Leanne Gibbs. I'm from Community Child Care Co-operative, whose birthday it is today. Hooray! Yay! I just want to draw attention to our beautiful publication. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. We'll be launching this tonight, and this shows just a nice little potted history of the 35 years of community childcare. So we certainly hope that you enjoy that. I'm going to give that back to you now, so I can steal it from you. All right. I am here to do a couple of things. One is to be the bridge between a few different people, and also to just give a little bit of my perspective on what I think might change the world. But and I'm preaching to the converted, I know. So I hope to provoke, but I don't know that I'll divide. I want to start off with some thanks, because sometimes we leave this until the end of the day when the blood sugar is low and everybody's dashing out the door. So I want to say, first of all, thanks Community Childcare, you're the best. And there's a few other people that it's good to thank as well. I want to say thanks Eva Cox for being the founding member of Community Childcare. And for fighting with Victoria to keep the name, rather than to have that special for Community Childcare Victoria. So thank you, Eva, and thank you for being here today. It's great. Eva is a great commentator. She loves to talk about us as well at times, but what we love to hear is Eva's opinion, because it actually makes us better and makes us think about what we're doing. Jen Wangman, who some people will know, or hopefully everybody will know, because she's a wonderful advocate, called last week to just say that she thought Community Childcare was doing a great job, and what she said was most important was that it's about the team. And that's exactly what it is. It's about the team at Community Childcare. And I know that so many of you this morning were met by our beautiful team who were active in different places all over and who have prepared very carefully for this day. There's been a core group of people, and that is Tonya Amy, Anthea Sherry-Lambus, Helen Thornton, Danielle Gallagher and Mari Deverell. Hooray! And you'll see some of them today because they'll be introducing speakers, because we want them to be up here and up front. But big thanks to our community childcare team broadly for the work that they do every day. I want to also thank our board and the wonderful job that our board does. And that's our board. Jared and Gary weren't available that day for a picture, but that's our board, and I think they look terrific. And I just want to say a special thanks to Bernadette Dunn, who has probably been with Community Childcare for a third of its life, I would think, just about, and is now our chairperson and has been for some time. Thank you, Bernadette. And Wendy Lindgren, who I'm not sure whether she's here yet, but she's probably there. Yeah, she's there. Has probably been with Community Childcare half its life, I think. But I think everybody's had that wonderful connection with Community Childcare over its whole life. But thank you to the board who support the work that we do and really think strategically about that as well. I want to say a big thanks to our inner circle, and I'm talking about an inner circle of people who are not necessarily staff members of Community Childcare, but do lots of fantastic things. We've got Lisa Bryant, and we've got the team at our media, Eddie, Deborah, Camille, Howard and Camille and Ingrid. Camille, you now have two names, who make us smarter and more beautiful. today, and that hashtag is, as you see it before you. So I do want to say that today you might be offended, provoked, affronted, inspired, informed, influenced, enthralled, enthused and energised. But what's important is what goes on tour stays on tour. So I'm going to get on with it because my piece is short and it's based on every OECD report you have seen. And this goes with my thanks to Mrs. Ray, Mr. McGregor, Mrs. Bible, Mrs. Winsome, with my apologies to the Year 2 girls of 1969 who had no appreciation of my poetry talents. I also want to say apologies to poetry slammers, government, masters of the universe, bureaucrats, policymakers, funders and naysayers. Well, actually not. I'm not really going to apologise because Jane said I don't have to. And in the absence of the will to offer up an interpretive dance, the following is presented to you. I hope you think it's a bit gangster. And in an act of civil disobedience, I will be drawing on my notes. I didn't have time to memorise. This is, has anybody been to a poetry slam? Alrighty. How did I know that it was going to be you, Deborah? Alright, well that's a relief because you won't know how bad this is. That's excellent. So here we go. The world that existed opened up to me by a system of free and unfettered education of the 70s. My world of schooling was different. I was taught by a progressive who constantly verged on a nervous breakdown as he embraced radical, enlightened, liberal thinking. Others did not, and he was torn from the system. As I grew older, my endeavours became bolder, and I began to know that despite challenge, social isolation and different ways of thinking, that education gave opportunity, not just productivity, not just income, not just progress, but rich, complex layers of optimism and possibilities, even if only in an inner world. Evidence, stats and professors gather together. My Twitter feed is alive with stats that connive to show that whatever way you turn it, twist it and shake it, the impact of education from birth to death is everything. Yes, education is everything. With education, we live longer, we grow up stronger, we care more, we're happier, we're more engaged, we're less estranged. With education, we vote, we volunteer, we trust, we drink less beer, we take less drugs, we're smarter. With education, we have more joy, we're easier to employ. With education, we have less babies when we can't manage, we have more skills, far less ills, we've got more equality, more humility and more humanity. With education, the world is more satisfied, has less of a divide. Education, yes, education is everything. And if that's not enough, economies grow and it shows income higher, wealth transpires. You see, education is everything. Each day the doors open and young minds rush in. A synchronised dance ebbs and flows, nurturing, cultivating, fostering small brains, already full of big ideas. The person looking after your bank balance, your health, your mind, your future in 2040 is before you right now. But it seems that money is everything. It's a Sunday and I'm listening to a world-renowned brain expert talk on neuroplasticity and the profound impact an early childhood educator has on young brains. It's all gains. It's never too late. But we can't find the money to pay for a proper system that unequivocally supports that neuroplasticity. We argue on, and we twist the formulas to make it work. We add the layers, we cut the funding, we agree on what is good, but we can't agree on who pays. It's a Tuesday. I'm standing on the steps of Parliament House supporting the submission of 10,000 signatures for teacher debate, but we don't rate. James Packer slides past. Unconstrained access to Barry, and a smooth passage is made for the latest casino that will bestow more misery and poverty upon families that deserve better. It's 2008, the world is in meltdown as the GFC creeps and the damage is steep. The financial landscape implodes, dragging down people, banks and whole economies. The same governments that give a message of fiscal restraint bail out banks and institutions to the tune of billions. Fiscal restraint, it's time for user pays, higher, middle, early education. In the spirit of fiscal restraint, a free university education becomes history. Those that benefited from it have ripped it away from those of the future. This comes with the kicker that a CEO saved by the government of the day, his bonus remains despite all the pains. That bonus would sustain education for 40 children for 5 years. Apparently money, yes, money is everything. But we can change the world in just one generation. With education, we live longer. We grow up stronger, we care more, we're happier, we're more engaged, we're less estranged, and we're not so enraged. With education, we vote, we volunteer, we trust, we drink less beer, we take less drugs, we are smarter. With education, we have more joy, we're easier to employ. With education, we have less babies when we can't manage. We have more skills, far less ills, more equality, more humility, more humanity. With education, the world is more satisfied, has less of a divide. And if that's not enough, economies grow and it shows. Income higher, wealth transpires. We innovate, we revolutionise, we modernise, we transform. Yes, education is everything.